Hello there. Uh, on the screen, you should be seeing my keyboard and a bunch of wires and my deck and something else. That something else is a mobile phone, and you should already know why it is because it is right on the title. So it is here. This is called the Nokia 6300 4G, and it's a reboot of the original Nokia phone, made I believe in 2020. And that means it's a fairly new feature phone, and it shows that. So if you look at the back, you can see it's plastic. It's this. I picked the cyan color. I actually ordered from Amazon, and paid a bunch more. Like I mean a few euros more because this color was available in the country where I live, as far as I could see. So I ordered it from Amazon.de and got shipped. It came in about a little bit over a week. So pretty normal Amazon times anyway, it's fine. Anyway, it has best plastic back with whatever color you pick. It's kind of a matte feel, and you can see there's a camera and a flash. Then you have the sides, which are glossy. Um, it's not super cheap kind of glossy, but it's glossy regardless, and it's not like super high quality either. And then in the front you have this glossy bit once again on the top, and then you have the something similar to back material towards the bottom with the keypad and stuff. So that's how the actual build of this thing goes. And overall, it feels okay. It doesn't feel super durable. It doesn't feel super high quality or anything. It's plastic. It feels plasticky, and that's to be expected given it is plastic. But it does, feel very nice to hold because matte plastic material that they have in the back. It's a really pleasant thing to hold in my opinion, and I really prefer this over anything else. It's just a really nice thing to hold in the hand. On the other sides are okay, they are fine. They're not as good as the back though, and this glossy bit here in front isn't my favorite either. So I really like the back, I like the keypad, but I don't really love these glossy bits as much. So I wish they made the whole thing, through this matte material. Though it might not look as good if they did that, but regardless, that's that. Anyway, um, it's a pretty okay phone. It did, when I first got it, feel pretty hollow, but that was because it didn't have battery inside, so it was actually hollow. But when I actually put in the battery, it became a lot more heavy and a lot more sturdy. So it feels okay now. It's still not the most solid feeling thing, but I think that's just because of its size, because it's quite big. So for example, if I now hold this up with this hand, and if I take my other feature phone, which is an old Samsung E1200, it's quite a bit bigger, um, as you can see. So it's quite a bit bigger than my old feature phone that I have been using for the past few weeks. So yeah, it's a pretty big feature phone. It's almost a smartphone size, so yeah, it's pretty big. But the difference of smartphone is that it has a keypad and a screen, not just a screen. And that of course means not a screen, but it also means keypad. So yeah, it is a feature phone after all. Now it's power button, it's at top, and hey, there's a headphone jack. Remember those? And then there's a micro USB port at the bottom. So that's why that's there. And then of course there's screen at the front and the back I already went over. And yeah, indeed the back is replaced, or is you can open the back and you can of course replace the battery and stuff. So that's all good. It's also dual SIM, so you can put two SIMs in it, and it does have support for SD cards. So it's already beating a lot of smartphones in those features. Now, if you open it up, you can press this button, or you can press the power button at the top. I'm going to press this one, and I have set to lock the keypad. By default, it doesn't lock the keypad, but I have set to do so because I prefer things this way. Now you can open this either by pressing this for long. I can lock it by pressing this for a long time as well, but I can also open it by pressing the home key. So whichever way works. And you can see the screen is fairly bright, or you probably can't because you're not. But yeah, it's a fairly bright screen. It gets bright enough for me to see it in good light, so that's good enough. I'm only at 80%, so if you click the up arrow, you can kind of go change things. So you can see I have my 80% brightness here. I have mobile data enabled as well, because indeed it's running KaiOS, so it has mobile data and it has services and stuff. Then you can press right, it will open contacts, which I'm going to close because I'm going to show my contacts to you. And then on the left, it will open up this kind of menu to open some apps with shortcut. Then if you open up the main menu, you can open up with the central key, and then there's also a shortcut key. So now if you click on this tree thing here, it by default opens up a menu where you can select what to use it for. But I have already to set to internet sharing, so you can I can use it to quickly share my network. So because that's what features I need from this phone. So why did I get this instead of a normal feature dumb phone? Because for one thing, it's 4G, what's important given 3G is dying very soon. In like I think in where I live, it's going to die in like 3 years or 2 years or something, and 2G is going in like 4 or 5 years or something like that. So it's nice to be future proofed, and having 4G means I'm past it. But more importantly, I need a hotspot because I need to be able to do things on the go. I need to be able to access internet while on my laptop while I'm out somewhere, and that's important to me. Another thing that's important is that I need to be able to access WhatsApp somehow. I can do it on the device itself, I can do it through WhatsApp web, but I need once again a hotspot for it. In this case, because it's KaiOS, I can already run a WhatsApp on here, so that's what I have done. We'll go through it later. But yeah, you can run WhatsApp on this, you can, do all kinds of things on this. But yeah, the thing is, I need hotspot, and even like 4G feature phones that are not KaiOS, for some dumb reason, leave it out. Like, I didn't like specifically want to get KaiOS. I would have much preferred like Nokia's S30 Plus, but it doesn't have tethering, which is so dumb because it could, but they didn't feel like putting it in. So no, no S30 Plus phones for me. Anyway, yeah, you can see here's apps here. So there's call log, there's contacts, the store for KaiOS, which I probably won't be using at all. There's note taking app, there's the messages and clocks and WhatsApp and KaiWeather and settings. And there's like YouTube and Assistant. I'm not going to do anything with this. It's going to collect all my data, and I don't want that. I don't think it's going to collect a lot on the background because it can't run in the background, because KaiOS pretty much kills everything as soon as you stop running it, if you're not running it specifically. So it's not going to run. There's no YouTube and maps and gallery and camera and Snake. Indeed, there's Snake. So if you want to go and play Snake, you can. Now, it's not a great Snake experience. The phone stutters quite a bit while I'm playing it. So, I don't want sound this time. I can play, then I can... You can see it stutters a bit while I'm actually, playing goddamn Snake, which isn't a very good sign. So yeah, you can just kind of go around collecting these. I believe this is the avoiding walls type deal. But yeah, it's fine. It stutters for a bit once in a while. It's still playable. I mean, also it's Snake, so it's not like a competitive thing, so it doesn't matter if you're perfect frames or not. But yeah, this is what the Snake is like. You can... It has a few different kinds of levels. For now since I'm playing this thing, but it also has like a timed thing and a thing where you play against the bot thing. So you can just kind of go play Snake. Anyway, I'm going to close Snake off. And yeah, when you close a game, it takes a while. People say KaiOS is slow, and in some cases it is. So now, if you open like a game, as you see, it could stir in it, and also it takes a while once you actually log out of it. So that's something you take note of. But when you open your basic app, so for example, if you want to open up call log, then we leave this, it comes right back. Same thing goes with notes, we can go right back. Same thing with messages, we can go right back. And this is also, let's look at this one. So this message thread I sent myself, so you can see it has this like nice flat UI with hello there and then hello there back from me. You can use this and call to completely close the thing. You can use back to not, completely kill it. Then you have a clock for alarms and stuff. I have set a random alarm, some test alarm system, because I want to find... Because some people are saying it's not consistent. I want to see it's not. It has been consistent with these 3 alarms so far, so that's good. It also has timer. So now you can set timer. And here's a stopwatch. So you can, start this. Then you can lapse, and then you can pause and reset. So that's that. Then we have WhatsApp. So I set up a bunch of random groups with myself. So here's an individual message with myself. You can see I have, of course, Reddit, and that's me. Then we have this, of course. Once again, I have sent something to myself. And then we can see also here, there's something I have sent to myself. So yeah, that's WhatsApp. It works very well. Actually, WhatsApp really fast. It doesn't lag at all, and that's good. I don't know if you want to type something more in this group. I can, let's say you want to type in, hello there. You can see it doesn't like lag while I'm typing at all. So the typing experience is very good. I'm getting used to this keyboard. I'm more used to the Samsung one, but it's completely different size. So yeah, then you can send it by using the name button, and it sends that. And of course, it's read right away because I'm the only recipient here in this group. So yeah, that's how that works. It's a very simple way of things to work, and you can close this once again like this. Then you have a weather app. So now if you take a look at this one, this is a bit annoying. Now it's fine, I think, but sometimes, no, actually it's not. You can see it almost like a random stupid ad. And it's just really dumb too, like the ads are dumb. Clearly it's not tricking me because those ads are in about like Miami and stuff, and I don't live in Miami. So, so you know, it's clearly, indeed I'm in the Finland, in the capital area. So that's more accurate about my location than whatever the heck it's the actual ads in it is. So yeah, though it does seem to have this Tampere ad, so I guess somewhere during time in Finland. But yeah, it's not. It doesn't actually track me. Of course, I have turned off all the tracking settings, and if you go to settings, there's what's like tracking. You know, I have turned on do not track because I don't want it to track me. This should prevent the actual OS from tracking me too much, and also I have set my browsing to no, that's not it. I think it's like here I have set my browsing to DuckDuckGo, not to have a actually search anything because I don't use the internet. Then you have like maps. I'm not going to mess with that. I don't even have I have geolocation disabled because I don't have location shared. I don't need that feature unless I need this. But yeah, you can kind of show the map and look at your own location and things like that. Then you have YouTube. So this is, you can sign in. I'm not signing in. Share cells, so I'm not going to be looking into this deeper. But yeah, it has this kind of. I'm just going to agree with this thing. So yeah, but it's basically the web page. And this is what I meant when I say it's probably not tracking you too much because it's all built from like it's all like just part of the and then you can also long press to speak. I once again don't want to do anything Google Assistant, so I'm not going to speak. So you know, if you want to find my own channel, we can do. We can search for that. And then we should be able to actually then we can search for it and we should be able to find it. And here it is. Here's my channel. But yeah, it's, as you can see, it's using the it's using a kind of like this well, website. It seems to be going back with this button, but yeah, I want to close stuff and it's closed off. So yeah, it's like that. You can have much more apps and whatnot. So I'll pause here. I'll be back in a bit because I charged my camera. And welcome back. Now I have gone here, so I have now open up again, and you can see this stuff is here. You can look at the camera, but the camera is absolute trash. It's 0.3 megapixels. It's not good. And speaking of charging, it uses micro USB, and it comes to cable to the wall. But you can use any like micro USB cable with it if you want. So if you want to go to your computer, you can. And indeed, that's how you might want to go about, you know, looking at something like ban hackers, for example, because they, of course, need you to go to your computer, and you might be able to get rid of some apps by doing so, which I'm probably going to do later. Then you have your music app, so that's for, you know, music. I'm not going to use this for listening to music because I already have a better device for doing that. So, for example, I have my DAP. It's a Walkman and WA55. So yeah, That's what I choose for music. But I did test the audio output of this, and the speaker gets very loud. It gets fine. It's not good quality, but once again, who the hell needs good feature phone audio quality? Like, let's be real, that's not needed. But what you do have is a surprisingly good headphone jack, because this gets louder than my smartphone did, by far, and that's very impressive for it, I think. It's way better than my old smartphone, and that's like enters the headphone jack, and that's very nice. Uh, so if you want to listen music on this thing, I guess you can. Also if you go back to settings, we can see our battery settings. Let's see how is our battery doing actually. So we have used like 4% during this video already. So, or I guess it's just more like 1 or 2%, I think. But in any case, we have used a little bit. Nothing too much though. I don't have any extended battery idea, because I haven't used this for. I started today. I haven't used it for like a long time. I hope it lasts for more than one day. If it doesn't, then I'll let you know. But I have disabled like geolocation and stuff, so it should be a bit more than it would be with everything enabled. But let's see. I'll when I make my full review in like probably like a month or something, I'll come back to it, and I'll actually go through like what are the good and bad things about it. Then you have like QR reader, so you can read QR codes and stuff, and probably open your browser or whatever. You have a calendar, so now you can go to the calendar and you can go through dates here. Seems to work well enough. Then you have a recorder. If you for some reason want to use that, you have a unit converter, so now you can convert like area length. My Samsung also has this. I'll be looking at it later. And then you have the bloat apps, which I mentioned earlier. They are not good. But yeah, the memory cleaner is also a thing. I don't know what it's useful for. I don't know if it's useful at all. I hope it isn't, because if it isn't, then that means... If it is useful, that means the phone is a big problem. But yeah, you have these basic apps that can do basic things. That's really that. You also have the assistant, of course. But I don't use it. So yeah, you have these apps. You can, you do your smart things. You can use internet somehow, though it's inconvenient. It's with the mouse cursor and stuff. Then you can use WhatsApp, which actually works remarkably well. Some limitations, however, are that you cannot read media that are too large. I think it's like 8 megabytes for video or something, and like 5 for images or something. So you can't look at like big images, and you also cannot do WhatsApp web with this phone. So some things take into account, and yeah. So yeah, it's fairly slow, as I mentioned. That's really the key problem here. But it's not super slow. It's not like some people make it out to be. It does not take 10 seconds to open an app after closing one. Except when, except when the app you closed is like Snake and it's really heavy. But I wouldn't recommend using those heavier apps on this anyway. They don't run well. So, but it's fine afterward. Like, after you wait for like those few seconds, it's totally fine. And if you only open up like basic apps like call logs, clock, these KaiOS stock apps, as you can see it's usable right afterwards, so it's fine. The settings app also is a bit chunky, but it's fine. And also, another thing it's a bit chunky is this. Sometimes it will like kind of scroll up and down. It doesn't happen now, but it has been happening in the past. But it's it's not excessive, it's not problematic, and it's fine. Then you can see this home screen. It kind of says no SIM card at the top for the second SIM, but that's fine. It's not obnoxious. It's kind of small on top, and that's fine. And yeah, you can see the time here and the date, and what else you might want to see here, but that's probably what you want to see. And now I'm just gonna see my screen going off, timer is being met. Anyway, I'll put it aside for now. I have some other devices to compare it to. So here's the old Samsung I mentioned earlier. It's an E1200, I think. It is 12 years old, by the way. I have been using this, and you can see it's out faster speed wise, but it also has basic features. So you can do calls, you can do messages. It says game, but actually it's Sudoku, so nothing too much. Then you have your memo, you have your settings like this, your alarms, your applications, your contacts, which is a SIM card, by the way. And yeah, it's a very basic phone. All it does basically is notes, SIM calls, and messages. It's also, of course, a 2G phone because it's 12 years old. It's a lot smaller. I already compared this before, but if you look up this next feature, you can see that it is significantly a smaller sized phone. The battery is also a lot smaller, though I can make it last for quite a while because I don't really use this phone for anything. Because it's feature phone, you can't really use for much, so it actually lasts for quite a while. And it's replaceable again. It has normal size SIM slot though, whereas the Nokia has a, your typical micro, nano, whatever the SIM is called that they have on smartphones as well. This one too has time on here. It's very similar shortcuts too, so you can contact sorry with this key, not with the keypad. However, your screen locking is also with this key. Though opening it is also only with this, so you don't have the home key option opening it. This is shutting down, of course. This one closes maps, There's no specific back key, but this one works back key in all apps pretty much. Not that you have many apps to begin with. Then you can, similar to the other one, similar to KaiOS, you can use this key to change the text layout and change the volume mode if you long press it. So if you long press this, you can make your phone loud or silent. It's the same thing with Nokia. So now if I bring Nokia up and I long press this, it goes vibrate mode. Don't that one, it goes silent. In this case, it goes vibrate. But I have turned off vibrate altogether in that one as to why that happens that way. And then I just close the screen again. As build quality goes, this one is smaller, which makes it feel more solid. It's very thick as well, relative to its size. It's actually, about the same thickness as Nokia, but it's also a lot bigger. So now if you take this extruder, you can see the thickness is pretty much the exact same. Although this was a kind of strap design, but yeah. They are pretty much equally thick, and that means it feels more solid. It's, that I think that's just the universal it being small, because big phones always to me feel weak. They feel hollow. They feel like they might bend. They don't feel very durable, because of course there's more width and more height, or not more width but more height, and of course that means that makes them feel more fragile and less solid. But I think that solidness difference here is really only really does come down to purely the matter of different size. I don't think the quality is necessarily over on Nokia. Now the keypad here is very different. It's rubber material. I like it too. I really like Nokia as well, though. I really like the matte plastic, but I like this one as well. Now I prefer this top bit here, which is also rubbery, over the glossy bit of the Nokia, however, because while the matte material in the Nokia is better, I don't like a glossy one as much. It's fine, it's usable, but the glossy bit, this one, this here, it's not as good as this matte bit. So that's where I prefer the Samsung. It has the same materials here. This one is metal though, so your directional pad is metal. Now it's also a bit wider on the sides than Nokia, though the key itself is smaller because the phone is smaller. So yeah, that's that really. The screen also is much smaller. You can see how it is that way. And also the keys are out. Although they're equally tall, they are much slimmer. They are out wider on the Nokia, which is nice on the Nokia, I think. Though of course it means Nokia is larger, so trade off there and here. Also another thing that Nokia's build is this thing here wiggles, similar to the buttons do. It's not like a huge wiggle, it's not a problematic wiggle. It's still flush with the thing, but it does wiggle a bit, just like the buttons do. So I think it's some kind of similar mechanism with the buttons on there. Another point of comparison I can draw is Nokia phone. It's an X302. Now I don't have a torture for this, so that would work. So I cannot compare software. I can only look at the hardware. But there's some differences. Once again, we have a replaceable back. So you can use these two buttons on the sides. And then then you kind of pull this side. And you can see battery and there's SIM slot and stuff. So let's open this one up. As you can see, if you're able to read it, The camera is 5 megapixels, so it's a much better camera than whatever is in the Nokia or a new Nokia. This old Nokia, but this old Nokia has a better camera than this new one. But also, I don't care for my camera. I have been fine with the Samsung. I just have one to begin with, and I haven't had problems with it. I don't use a camera on my phone, so it's all fine. Now, this one, it feels nicer built wise straight up. It has these metal bits to it. On top I think it's metal. I think this bit here is metal on the back. Or no, sorry. I think is this one the only bit of metal? I never. It has metal in it. It feels very solid because it's once again small. It's smaller than the new Nokia. The screen is about equally big though. Screen is very big. So now if you draw these for dimensions, you can see the screen is pretty much equal size. So if you turn this one on, we can see it more clearly. But it's about an equal screen in size. But the phone itself, this one is a lot smaller. It's also a lot thinner this time around. So this one is quite thin. But because of metal on the back, it feels a lot more solid than the plastic phones do. The keys are also metal. But the keys are trash. I don't like these keys. They have like no key travel to speak of. And they have very low key travel. They are very mushy too. And it's not a good experience. Now this one is a bit loose. Now it's fine. This does look very nice. It has this curve to it. I like how this looks, but it has front camera as well. I think no, it doesn't. Sorry, it has an ambient light sensor though. But it has ambient light sensor. It has these keys, but it doesn't have a directional pad either because it's kind of a transition device. So it has it's touchscreen. It's using like one of those Java operating systems of Nokia, and well, yeah, it's kind of a user touchscreen and then navigate touchscreen type with these keys. I don't like it. I don't like this kind of hybrid touchscreen thing. I prefer full keypads and full touchscreens on that matter. Though I prefer full keypads or touchscreens, but I don't like this. They should have a keypad. I think like or directional pad. I can't make a deal without it, and this hybrid design isn't my favorite overall. But the build is very nice. The keypad is trash. The screen is quite sizable though, and the dimension is still small. But yeah, it's trade off, I guess. I don't like this one. It's also 2G phone, by the way. So no 4G here. It's also a really old phone after all. But then going back to this thing, what are my overall thoughts on this? So I think it's a very nice device. I mean, it feels solid enough. It's not super high quality in the build, but it's fine. It's not worse than that plastic Samsung in my opinion, although it does feel solid because it's big. Uh, People say it's slow. It is slow, but it's not terribly slow. It's fine if you only use simple apps. If you want a gaming phone, why request a feature phone to begin with? But yeah, if you're doing light things, it's going to be totally fine. If you do heavier things, it's going to have some slowness here and there. It might stutter in your snake game. It might take a bit after you close the snake. If you open up the snake, you can see it took a bit of time to close there. So yeah, it can take a bit to close snake properly, and whatnot. So do it as well. The battery life, I don't know yet. I have to look that. I have to observe over time and make a more thorough review later. But for now, it's fine. Let's see what's our battery again. 52. So it has gone down by like 1% since we last looked. So you can see it use a bit while I'm using it. Of course, most of the time I won't be using it. I'll be having it locked like this, and the screen will turn off in a second. Now the USB port is a bit springy, so it's not the perfect experience to put in, but it's fine. So yeah, it's a nice phone. I'm going to be using this as my main device from now on, so I'll be able to make a good review after I've actually used it for a while, and make any IHL weaknesses and strengths, and see if the performance stays this way, and if the battery is okay and things like that. I'll be able to point to in a review. So that's that. Bye.